Hello and welcome to Sim Strategy Gaming. I'm Sim. This episode will be about the ninth scenario of Railway Empire 2, Ireland Gains Steam. Looking at our mission objectives, we see that we are going to grow Dublin a bit, make six different goods available there at the same time, and then produce nine loads of clothing in Dublin in one of our own factories. That means that the entire map has to grow a bit, clothing not being in demand until cities reach 50,000 citizens. And then connect 10,000 citizens to our railway network. That we will do absolutely right away with this clever little trick that I come up with. Just building a single line that goes in the clockwise direction around the entire island of Ireland. Uh, of course, it would have been much better to build it in both directions. Now, not all cities like Dublin and Belfast, for example, there will be no passengers going in that direction because they have to go all the way around there, and that of course being much longer than twice the air distance between Dublin and Belfast. But still doing it like this, having everything connected, and kind of seeing how this will our empire will become at the earliest stage is many ways very beneficial and makes for an orderly setup. Can point out that I have been cheating or exploiting the game a little bit here at Belfast, and then I built a station here first, and then expanded the allowed zone a bit, and then built a new station and deleted the first one. This is a little trick in order to make it so that we can have this nice curve, and none of these stations are placed in this peculiar perpendicular manner. If I didn't have to do that, I would have to set up like this, and this is less beneficial and takes longer time and it costs more. For this particular mission, I've chosen to play as the professor. Professor has a serious drawback when it comes to passengers and mails that are the most profitable. But still, in this very early game in the 1845, locomotives are very expensive. The earlier locomotives are much more expensive than later on in the game. So then to have all the locomotives 60% cheaper comes in very handy, as it allows for us to connect all the cities and achieve the first mission objective right away, even before we unpause the game, and also connect to all of the connection bonuses, and we are able to afford to have trains starting in all of the connection bonuses like this. You can see now how this has been set up: one in Belfast, one in Manning, one in McGovern, one in Galway, one in Cork, and then a couple of these resource freight only lines here as well. We were able to afford all of that with these extra cheap locomotives, and then of course only a one line system. When looking at the locomotives, we see that we have access. The best one is now the express train, the Iron Duke, and that means that it's going to be hard to achieve express net uses with the Jenny Lynn, and we're going to use the mixed transport for a long time, because we cannot afford to have dedicated express lines as of yet. And even though the Iron Duke is much faster than the Jenny Lynn, it has about half the tractive power. So it means that the Iron Duke will be very slow, much slowed down. Only 90% tractive power means that it can hardly transport any freight goods at all. But later on, we will aim for this Ryan locomotive, which is a very nice locomotive, and then we will be able to have express statuses on mixed lines as well. And then, a little bit more than a year into the game, we have used our connection bonuses and also started to earn a bit of money. Hard to earn money in these very early stages of the game, since the locomotives are so slow. But at least we've been able to expand this into a two-way system, so that it now goes in both the directions. Checking out here in Dublin how things are going. You can still see that there aren't any passengers or mail going to Sligo and Galloway, because that would still be too far away with this round and around this one circle. But still many of the cities are fully connected here in Belfast, Cork fully connected, Waterford. And it's very important to make sure that the cities are connected passenger-wise. It's very easy to just go in here, look at the goods supply and demand to see how the cities would be growing. But it's very nice to grow the cities, but the reason that we are growing the cities is because they then produce more citizens, than more passengers and mail waiting for transport. Now, we don't have access to the immigration office, but it's still super duper fantastically important to be able to build the libraries. So remember to do that as soon as they reach 50,000 citizens. And then one of the missions, we can't really see it right now, but one of the tasks that we are going to have to do is to buy up a lot of industries. 20 industries. So then usually I wouldn't buy that many industries and rather focus on building rails, because that is more profitable. But now I bought up this weavery and fashion factory in Dublin, to make sure that the fashion factory, as always, has access to cloth, and then that wool is coming in close by. I haven't bought up this, but it's going to bump itself up pretty nicely. Connected to all of the different resources, with the exception of the salt. No demand for salt as of yet, but I think there is some demand for fruit. So that goes through a warehouse here in Cork that also has corn coming in. Now everything is on the same line. There is only one single zone, so that there is no need to have any warehouses that will transfer from one zone to another. But in both in Cork here and then also in Sligo with the milk, there is a warehouse that distributes, moves this resource down into the main line. No need for any main. It would be hard for the main traffic to go around here on the absolute northern parts of Ulster, and so then it just moves down into Sligo. Sligo also being connected to this livestock resource, but then there is no need for livestock to be further on distributed onto the main line that just goes straight into the meat factory in Sligo. And then, of course, when one has the opportunity now, the mission is to produce, to own as many as these factories as possible, to own 20 in the end. Then it's a good thing here to have dairy factory in Sligo, as it has immediate access to milk coming in. I think that there are some demand as well. No demand as of yet, but at least Sligo will be producing up to 9 dairy products to fill its export warehouse, and then those 9 wagons will be ready as soon as one of these cities reach, say how many? Have to reach 65,000 citizens, but that will come on quite soon. Waterford here at least, it has almost 60,000. So and everything is growing very well. Most of them having 2 green arrows, more than 80% fulfillment of demand, and the rest having at least 1 arrow. It's more than 60% fulfillment of demand. For the next set of mission objectives, we see that we immediately achieve 2 of them. There are 4 cities with more than 50,000 citizens on our railway network, pretty much right away. And then all cities were connected from the very beginning. So as soon as we complete the first set of mission objectives, we automatically achieve this connect 6 citizens to our rail network. And now to transport 9,600 passengers, that sounds like a lot. But with all these cities connected now, and we're only lacking this way, this passage between Sligo and Galway, and then Dublin, and we can further build upon that. But still, we will be able to make for lots and lots of passengers. Can see how this just becomes more and more by the minute, for every day. You see that these trains are more or less becoming yellow now. Some of them are even red, and that means that we need to come up with more solutions to transport more passengers and have more transport capacity on our rails. And then just a couple of months later, we are just about to have been able to transport the 9,600 passengers, just on Post's tiniest bit there, and then it's a truly insane transport volume. I'm not quite sure that it is the biggest one that I built ever, but it is a good one. And we are ready for our next set of mission objectives, which will be Ireland gains steam, where we will have to grow the entire Ireland into having 500,000 citizens and connecting them all to our rail network, and then to own a total of 20 industries and businesses. And we have been buying up slowly, at least, but not too much. It's still more important to focus on earning money by laying rails. But this will come on much more now. Now I have divided the island into 2 parts. We have the southern bigger part here, including Waterford, Cork, Galway, Sligo, and Dublin. And here we have built a 4-lane system with both. Oh, see, here I have done something wrong. I put them all into the same track. So then, what to do then? One can. This is the express line, and I will just go in here at the last station and switch it all over. Important to check on this thing. It's so easy to make little mistakes, and with this, the trains they take the shortest route. But if the shortest route is filled up already with the trains, that will just make for long waiting times, and waiting times should not be more than 5%. Of course, these Iron Dukes, these express trains, they have the special wagons connected to them to make extra money. You can see that they are running fine. We haven't gotten around to have that much money to buy the appropriate amount yet, One can see that these mixed trains, they are pretty full by now. And then made for this peculiar little zone here, the northern, the Ulster part with Belfast, Sligo, and Dublin. No hotels here. There we don't have access to the hotel technology. Yes, we do have, but there is no point. These are on the middle of the track, and then passengers are changing here by themselves in the city of Sligo, and also with same with Dublin. And what you see now that in order to make for this peculiar turn, I had to build one of those peculiar perpendicular stations like this, so that it goes comes down here from Belfast, switches lanes at the station of Dublin, and go back again up to Manning and further on to Sligo. And then a little bit more than 2 years of gameplay, we have almost been able to afford to buy 20 businesses. Money are coming in a little bit slow on this tiny map with these old locomotives. And to make 18 different goods available at Dublin at the same time, that is just going to take too long time, and it means that we have to do a lot of this manual loading and make sure that only Dublin are receiving this particular goods. We can turn it off here, say with the cheese, for example. There are cheese, but the cheese is not reaching Dublin because it's being eaten up first of all in Sligo, and then some to Galway, and some to Belfast, and then but then we have to either do manual loading or turn off the access the picking up here. So we can go in here in Sligo, inhibit it from picking up any cheese, and then cheese will remain there, and then as soon as the export warehouse here is filled up, we can send that down to Dublin, or we can bump it up a lot, make sure that everybody gets what they have. But then, since money are coming in so slow, that will take for a very long time, and I don't take on manual setup because it just takes too much time. And but of course, it would be better to do it that you would have a high score if one bothered to do it. But at least we are almost able to buy everything that we need, so we can go in here and buy our last purchase. But then these factories, they become more and more expensive as we own more and more factories and rural businesses because of an inflation in the game to make it more interesting. So then I have this 4 millions on my bank account, but now 2 millions just to buy up this single farm. That is a lot, and well, it will take some time in order to really grow Ireland into becoming a super metropolitan island. But see how we did. Scenario complete, anyways. And then that's, of course, it's very good. You can see how we did. Managed to reach chief executive, at least. That's the most important thing. And see with our ranking, lots of people doing this better than us, but at least we're on the top 100. So haven't really expanded the rail network that much, but at least in order to try to make Dublin grow as fast as possible and have as many goods available at the same time as possible. And also making sure that this plank and paper mills down in Waterford are getting their the number built for this extra line here, so that from Dublin to Waterford. And then, since the focus was on building as many, having general growth in these cities, I turned this mixed line into a freight only. That means that passengers are being left behind, and then we're earning much less on this, but we are at least ensuring that when the train is trying to pick up some of these needed goods, then they wouldn't be filled with passengers or mails, so that it can pick up more goods like that. And then there would be a dedicated passenger transport picking up the passengers instead. So one can have this, instead of using mixed lines, one can use a freight main line and a passenger's freight main line. That wouldn't be so easy here, because this station, if one expands this into a 2x2 system, then this would become an 8-lane, and that would have this enormously long 8-lane grids that would stretch way up here, and that would make for lots of delays, as the trains have to be standing there and waiting. Quick look at the flow of goods between these two sides. Wheat is placed neatly on both sides, so there's no need to transport that. Corn as well, to warehouses that just moves the corn into the cities, but no need to transfer from one zone into another. Lumber, neatly placed in the middle, but also a little extra warehouse here from this new auxiliary line on to Cork, which is the shorter way than to go all around there. Then meat also in both zones. Same with beer. Sugar is only here in Ulster, so it has to go to Sligo in order to reach the southern parts of Ireland. And then lots of weaveries, one in the middle and one on each side. Milk, same story as with the sugar, has to be transferred from Ulster down to the southern parts of Ireland through the warehouse in Sligo. And then also just one vegetable resource here in Galway, first being moved on a freight-only line into Galway, and then further transferred from in Sligo. Is the hub here in Sligo with two warehouses like this, of course both being mirrored. Could have made the do with only one station here, but you see that the curves are much nicer and smoother if one uses two stations for two separate circles that move in the opposite direction. Fruit, there is also just one fruit being moved down to Cork, and then being shifted here at Sligo. Could have been shifted here in Dublin as well, but then I don't think that I rather have the post offices if there are a particular need for a warehouse. There was a warehouse here already in Sligo, and then I rather just use that. Fashion is here, particularly produced here in Dublin, so no need to transfer for this Galway fashion up to Belfast. This is being fed by Dublin, and besides, there aren't enough fashion for everybody, so don't stress too much about that. Dublin, here I made for an extra. There are a bit more planks than there were fashion. So I had an extra slot here as I go, and then I put up blanks there to see if there are some action on the blanks. No, there really aren't. But still, but there wasn't any problems. I could rather have used it for this distillery, but I don't think the distillery is running, is it? Yes, it is running, but then it's producing so little at this stage. Still very early in the game, and we're not making that much money. And to bump all of this up would just cost too much. You can see now that I turned off uh, most of the deliveries here uh, on this. A way to make more goods available in Dublin would be to inhibit these trains, as I showed, to pick up some goods, and then only these trains on this Ulster line would pick up the goods, and then they will only go to Dublin and Belfast, and then perhaps there will be enough for Dublin. But at this stage, I only managed to have 12 goods available, and at the same time in Dublin, and then I needed 18, and I really couldn't be bothered by it. Salt into Galway, and then distributed to Belfast also through Sligo being sort of the hub here. And then actually two of these furniture factories, not sure whether that both of them are running, but at least there are one on each side, so there's no need for a warehouse to transport. There aren't any clay, so of course there would not be no ceramics on Ireland. And then there are two of these paper mills, one on each side. Don't think there are any coal either, so then there won't be any chemical factories. Quick last look at the trains that we have set up here. Good to be naming them in a proper way, numbering them, making sure that there is some order here. Let's see which one are making the most money. This freight only, they are earning less than the mixed lines, and then often these passenger lines are the ones that are more profitable. But the mixed is particularly good in many ways for making money, as they ensure that they are full all the time. And then the factories we are owning in the rural businesses, very many of them being bumped up, not too much, rather focusing on having many than to have them very big. Bought up often the cheapest ones and the ones that were available. And just to have 20 of these at the same time is quite the endeavor. Well, but then I guess that pretty much sums up this nice little level. One can feel free to like and subscribe, leave some comments, and then I hope to see you next time around, and enjoy the game. Goodbye.